From the state-of-the-art UBC studios in Kampala, this is News Tonight.
Hello everyone and welcome to News Tonight. Jonano Pori is a sign language interpreter and he'll join us in a bit. I'm Rhoda Ngonzi.
With Michael Jordan Lukoma.
Let's dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni has today met an old friend, Dr. Yoweri Museveni, formerly working with the International Committee of the Red Cross, abducted by NRA and expelled by government forces in 1984 at the height of the NRA liberation struggle in Luwero Triangle. Now let's take you back a bit. On January 7th, 1984, 11 employees of the Red Cross, then on a routine medical mission, fell into an ambush by the NRA Liberation Army that had infiltrated Luwero. The employees included Dr. Yoweri, who was then Chief Medical Officer at the time of capture and helped several injured soldiers. On January 9th that same year, the NRA released 7 hostages for Swiss, including Yoweri's wife, Christine Perrin, who was then a nurse with ICRC, and 3 Ugandans. 2 weeks later, the rest of the hostages, including Dr. Yoweri Perrin, were set free. However, Yoweri and his Swiss team were immediately arrested by the government forces and questioned about Museveni and the NRA. When they testified that they were treated well and left to go, government expelled them to avoid positive publicity for the NRA in the diaspora. The newspapers in Europe talked widely about Museveni and the abduction, and government did not want to risk them portraying Museveni as a good person. Now, on February 20th, the NRA attacked Masindi Barracks in a major victory against the UNLA government. Dr. Yoweri Perrin is now an expert in public health and human security in complex emergencies, based in France. Yoweri, together with his team, were accompanied to State House by the head of delegation, the International Committee of the Red Cross in Uganda, Zoran Jovanovic, and the International Relations Communications expert at ICRC in Uganda, Judith Gichoncho. The meeting was also attended by NRM Secretary General Justin Lumumba Kasule. President Museveni said he has been looking for Dr. Yoweri since the end of the war until recently, when he talked to the president of the ICRC, who visited Uganda and promised to trace him. He encouraged him to write his experiences at the time. On his part, Dr. Yoweri commended President Museveni for the economic development the country has undergone since the war. He donated to him one of his latest books in which he mentions the president.
In more news, the trial of the former LRA commander Dominic Ongwen has resumed at The Hague after a 45-day break, with witness P145 being the first to appear before the jury on Monday.
Now, the last hearing on 2017 in Dominic Ongwen's trial was on November 30th.
We have details in this report.
A former fighter with the Lord's Resistance Army has admitted taking part in an attack on a camp for internally displaced people where his father, sister and other relatives lived. Witness P145 testified at the International Criminal Court on Monday in the trial of a former LRA commander, Dominic Ongwen, which resumed after a 45-day break. The trial has been going on since December 2016, and witness P145 is the 54th prosecution witness to testify. The witness told the court he took part in an October 2003 attack on the Pajule IDP camp, where his father, sister and other relatives resided. Apart from losing his young cousin during the attack, his father later died of the trauma he suffered after being severely beaten by LRA fighters. During his testimony, witness P145 said many people were killed during the attack on Pajule and some of them were decapitated. Ongwen has been charged with 11 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity for his alleged role in the attack of Pajule on October 10, 2003. He is also alleged to have been involved in attacks on 3 other IDP camps, namely Abok, Lukodi and Odek. Ongwen has also been charged with sex crimes and conscripting child soldiers. In total, he is facing 70 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity. He has pleaded not guilty to all counts. I'm Nafka Farida and Fredericks Idia reporting.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC, has signed a memorandum of understanding with McGill University to digitalize Uganda's archives. UBC's Managing Director Winston Agaba welcomes the move, describing it as timely. This was at the MOU signing ceremony.
It made a lot of news for a few days.
And we're excited, starting off with the photographic archiving that you're going to help us with. I think the most exciting moment is to know that you are building capacity for us as Uganda.
UBC has been the central focus for, information, the generation of official information in Uganda since the 1960s, really. And so there's a real opportunity in our collaboration more generally to bring new things to light. And that's what's exciting for me about this whole project. Great.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Great. We're excited and we look forward to a nice time, nice archives.
Yeah, me too. So the memorandum of understanding we've just signed allows the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation to work with the University of Michigan to digitize an important collection of photographs from the UBC's history. There are thousands of photo negatives that were taken by the president's photographer in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s that the corporation has stored in a cabinet and kept, which now can be transferred to a digital technology and made available for Ugandans, for researchers, for museum people to use. So the MOU allows Michigan and UBC to work together.
We are in talks both with the University of Michigan to see how we can bring to life all the archived materials that UBC holds in terms of the reels that we have, in terms of the DVD tapes, the CD, such that they are all digitized and we could expose them to whoever wants to use them. The private media will be able to access some of this material, of course, at an agreed relationship, at a fee for some of the material. So we are excited to make sure that Ugandans can access all the materials that we've had since independence to date.
Great.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Great. We're excited and we look forward to a nice time, nice archives.
Yeah.
All right, then, Mbarara High Court has adjourned the hearing of the case in which former FDC presidential candidate Kizza Besigye is accused of assaulting a police officer. The case, which also includes charges of inciting violence, has been adjourned to March 6, 2018 because the presiding magistrate is on annual leave. The accused, including Dr. Besigye, his driver Fred Kato, and FDC party president Patrick Amuria Toboy, arrived at Mbarara High Court on Tuesday morning. They were, however, told that court would not hear their case because the magistrate, Sanyi Mukasa, was absent. Earlier, Police blocked all roads leading to court and dispersed his supporters. Prosecution alleges that Dr. Besigye and his co-accused on November 14, 2017 at Amahembe Gente Muti cell in Mbarara district assaulted Police Commander Michael Oyet, who was on duty.
Welcome back from the break, and thank you so much for keeping it UBC TV. Now, McGill University Chancellor Professor Ezra Suruma has decried the inhuman treatment of Ugandan citizens seeking employment abroad.
The professor tasks government to create employment for the citizens so as to curtail what he termed as modern-day slavery in outside countries.
He made the appeal during McGill University's 68th graduation ceremony, where over 14,000 students were awarded various academic disciplines ranging from diplomas to doctorates.
Excitement and jubilations characterized the day one of Makerere University graduation ceremony, as over 14,000 students are set to graduate in a period of 4 days. A procession by the University Chancellor and Vice Chancellor, accompanied by a big number of professors, started the day at around 9 on Tuesday morning. The graduation will run in phases and will end this Friday. The first phase on Tuesday saw students from the College of Education and External Services, Agricultural and Environmental Services, and College of Natural Sciences graduate.
You are going out to the world, which expects a lot from you. We have trained you to be critical thinkers and not merely job seekers. Go out and get the jobs the country is yearning for.
The students were awarded various academic disciplines ranging from diploma to PhD. Over 70 students received PhD in different disciplines, most of whom were youthful, and they attribute their success to hard work and determination.
The PhD I've gotten is very, very important for the youth and the people of Kakumiro district, where I come from Bunyoro. And it's very, very, very important that it's going to inspire the younger ones. It's something like 10 years since we got a PhD in our community. But now, as a younger person, I've also come out. I think this is going to be an inspiration for the younger people also to come to school and also get such a kind of things.
To get PhDs in their late 50s, early 60s, or even up to 70s. But the secret behind my success, supportive supervisors by the names of Dr. Florence Chaze and Dr. Paul Mukwaya. They really supported me a lot. They were there for me as and when I needed them.
My PhD, I started it now in 2013, and I've been able to complete it today. I feel honored and happy, and I want to make a great significant contribution to the development of this country.
There were also 980 students awarded with the master's degree and expressed joy upon their success.
I'm Nakazu Christine. I've gotten a degree of Master of Science in Animal Science. The journey has been a long one, but I believe the fruits are not worth the bother.
It has been hard. It is worth it. It is worth celebrating today. Yes.
Years have changed. Now people get masters at an early age because the world is changing. The employment world out there needs people with so many degrees out there. It's competitive. And then I encourage the young ones to, it's not easy, but with persistence and with God, you can actually make it.
Yeah, challenges are there, like, money, economically. Uganda, we have issues of funds, but I mean, when you work hard, it's worth it. And sometimes you can even also get scholarships here and there.
The one thing I've realized is that actually, this part of the hardship we have gone through, what here and there, but God has been there for us to show us a good passage for this course, and we have actually excelled. We are among the top students. This part of the hurdles, coursework here and there.
Had challenges, of course, of tuition. You don't have tuition at the very beginning. You have courseworks despite all those hardships. We've been able to make it, and we are happy for that day.
I had a lot of challenges to at least come to this level, so I pray God for that.
That the government can do is to give us a step in terms of employment, so that we shall be the typical example to people who have gone to school or who are still wishing to study.
Winnie Mandela, ex-wife to late Nelson Mandela, the freedom fighter, will be given an honorary doctorate of law in recognition for her exclusive and continuous contribution to the liberation struggle of South Africa and Africa as a whole.
The authority entrusted to me.
During the graduation ceremony, the Chancellor Ezra Suruma tasked the government to create employment for the citizens so as to curtail what he termed as modern-day slavery, camouflaged in the names of jobs in outside countries.
By reminding all of us here to be ever more sensitive about the African condition, the dignity of the African nations and the African people in particular is now being openly and blatantly attacked and abused. Africans who cannot find employment at home have been facing inhuman conditions and death in their attempts to immigrate to other continents.
Urged the graduates to be careful while searching for greener pastures abroad, as conditions are sometimes inhuman.
We must create enough employment at home so that our people do not have to face humiliation and death on the high seas and in foreign countries. The time for complacency in Africa is over. Every African has the duty to fight slavery, colonialism, and neo-colonialism. No one should think that these are just words. They are real forces that threaten the present and future of the African people.
Matches, it was an exciting moment here at McGill University graduation. These students have just joined thousands of those who graduated previously, who are still on the streets looking for jobs. The task is now upon the government to create an enabling environment to absorb all these students and Ugandan youth who are jobless on the streets. Philip Aguta reporting.
Philip Aguta there reporting from the Ivory Tower, and we congratulate all the graduates. But still in the line of education, State Minister for Primary Education Rosemary Seninde has warned against examination malpractice. She made the remarks at Chide Day and Boarding Primary School in Kasangati during the handover ceremony of the school's P7 results released by UNEB recently.
The rampant examination malpractices in candidates' classes in various schools across the country is still one of the major challenges facing the Ministry of Education. State Minister for Primary Education and Wakiso District Woman Member of Parliament, Nansubuga Seninde, says schools have commercialized education, hence the rampant examination malpractices. Nansubuga Seninde was at Chide Day and Boarding Primary School in Kasangati, Wakiso District, where she officiated the handover of 2017 PLE results of the school. Over 42 pupils sat for the PLE, with 32 passing in first grade and 8 in second grade.
I would like to advise all schools to stop the habit of malpractice during examinations time, because all the teachers that will be found will be punished. We shall deregister them. And even those schools that will be found responsible in getting involved in malpractice during examination time will also be handled.
On the issue of quality teachers in both private and government schools, the minister revealed that the Ministry of Education is in final stages of revamping all teacher training colleges across the country. The proprietor of the school and an educationist, Zephaniah Kizza Besigye, highlighted the need for parents to be good examples to their children, especially in moral uprightness. He also urged educationists to always use holidays to renovate and build new school premises for students to enjoy when they come back from holidays. An appeal went to government to support private schools by reducing taxes for the betterment of quality education in both private and government-aided schools.
Parent, before you take your child to any school in this country, make sure that school has the facilities to use in the class. Make sure that the teachers who are teaching in that school, they have discipline to teach their children. Not just a matter of taking children where teachers turn over and use their children. That is very bad.
I'm Nafka Farida and Salongo Kaslanti reporting.
Now the short one is in the front.
Are working around the clock to accomplish the project of mitigating Kasese floods on River Nyamwamba, which has been a nightmare to the locals there. The 95 billion shilling project, which involves construction of barriers along the river banks, is being funded by the Egyptian government and its Ministry of Water, Resources and Irrigation. Let's take a look.
The 5-month project aimed at flood mitigation in Rwenzori sub-region, Kasese district, could not commence as earlier planned due to security threats dating from November 2011. The rehabilitation works currently ongoing by Arab contractor company centers on excavating and desilting of the river channels at some identified hotspots to remove stones and other debris from the main stream of river. According to site engineers, after cleaning the river channel, the next stage is to put gabions on the banks to protect the most vulnerable sections with extremely high flow velocities.
And this project mainly aimed to protect these people around here, property, community of Kasese. This is the first phase for protection works, including training of river, Nyamwamba River, construct some protection walls, gabion walls, as you see.
The interventions are being carried out on 3 most severely affected areas, especially that on River Barrier Primary School, Kilembe Mines Hospital, Bulembia Primary School, and later Katiri School.
We've managed to secure the hotspots. We've secured the Road Barrier Primary School. We've bulkheaded it off, and right now it can't suffer. They can't experience floods again. Nothing can be damaged. We've managed to secure Kilembe Mines Hospital. We've managed to secure Katiri Church. Basically, all that area is secured. We've managed to extend, widen the river. At least now I can report 6 kilometers have been done, completed in this first phase. Water can flow well. We've improved the slopes.
However, the process comes with a huge challenge, especially when the river must be blocked at some point to ease the desilting process.
It has very many challenges, in that some of them have overcome them to success.
Flooding triggered by heavy downpour happened twice from 2013, leading the closure of Kilembe Mines Hospital. The river, which has its source in the Rwenzori Mountains, flows through Kilembe Valley, Kasese Municipality, Queen Elizabeth National Park, and pours its waters into Lake Edward. Mutonyi Hilda and Fredericks Idia for UBC.
Now we take a break. When we return, more with business news, and Michael Jordan will be taking us through the meat wrangles and the budget, and as well many other stories. Stick around if you may.
Thank you so much for giving me UBC TV. This is business news tonight. The leadership of city abattoirs have given Kampala Capital City Authority an ultimatum of only a week to come up with a comprehensive report with evidence that they apply dangerous chemicals to preserve meat, and if not, they will sue them. They will sue KCCA. This was during a meeting with Kampala leadership where they came up with butchers and abattoir representatives to work with KCCA health team and political teams to investigate the allegations of the chemicals among the butcheries.
Assisted to grade and supervise the meat hygiene system. That one is our mandate. Unless the law is changed in our mandate, there is no way we can divest our mandate to the third party.
The meeting to come up with solutions on how to save the meat business in Kampala, whose image has been tarnished by KCCA public health operations on hygiene and fresh foods contamination, was diverted to leadership factions in the meat industry. The butchermen and city abattoir operators resorted to blame games, accusing one group of working with KCCA in these operations to put butchermen who are known in their association out of business. The butchermen were, however, told to put their differences aside and return to the agenda of the meeting. City abattoir and butcher operators denied allegations of using chemicals such as formalin and tsunami to preserve meat. They suspect someone is behind this to fail their businesses.
It is said that the practice is widespread. It's there, that it is there, that this is being done. But these ones, the stakeholders in the industry are vehemently opposing that. They are saying these are mere allegations. They are saying for them, actually, they are not involved in those illegal conspiracy theories. There are those who are saying probably that there could be people who want to take over the business, who could be behind this wave, this media breeze, whatever. There could be some people behind that, that it could be drummed up.
The meeting was called by the Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago to sensitize them on the KCCA meat ordinance, especially the standards of a butcher and precautions to take in order to keep meat from being contaminated by flies. Although there have been arrests and detention of some butcher operators, KCCA has not come out with a comprehensive report since the samples are still at the government analytical laboratory.
This is the beginning of a new vision story. We have collected samples both in milk, fish, salmon, and meat, and they were submitted to the government laboratory for analysis. When time comes, when the government gives us the results, we shall share them.
City abattoirs leadership say the responsibility to keep meat from contamination at butchers is with KCCA, since they slaughter health animals and are properly inspected. They have also threatened legal action against KCCA for defamation.
That it published that meat and insanity are treated with the drugs made for dead drugs, just to sell it in the newspaper. They had many reports from experts. They knew exactly what formalin is, they knew exactly how formalin is used and where it is used. So it is very unfortunate that they have traumatized our people. They have almost destroyed our meat sales have gone down so much. So I want them to come up, 14 days to come up with a clear stand. Then for a report from the government experts. We also want to know, did the new vision use the government experts whose information we can trust? It was.
The meeting has come up with a committee that comprises of representatives from butcheries, abattoirs, KCCA health team and political team to investigate the allegations.
It's also their duty to ensure that they weed out the unscrupulous traders within their business, from their business. We work hand in hand with our in-house team of doctors and the members of the Committee on Public Health and go out on a fact-finding mission. They reach out to all the areas, engage various stakeholders, examine all these issues which are being raised and the exhibits presented and all those issues, and present to us a comprehensive report on this matter.
I'm Nafka Farida and Susan Nagawa reporting in Kampala.
Issues of formalin and meat being tried to be solved, and we have hope that it will be finalized. Government has released funds for Q3 of the financial year 2017-18. The funds, totaling to 3 trillion shillings, take the cumulative total of 9.7 trillion shillings to funds already disbursed by government, which is averagely 79% of the approved budget of the current financial year. According to Keith Mohakanizi, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Planning and Economic Development, government will endeavor to ensure that all projects run smoothly and the public gets the services it deserves. The money was released on the 2nd of January this year.
$6.7 trillion has been released for the current expenditures, while 3.7 or 0.8 has been released for development expenditures, excluding Karoma, Isimba, excluding debt, Karoma and Isimba. Mark that one. To date, Minister of Finance has made a reason to meet the following expenditures: 289.899 billion, equivalent to 100% for the local government development expenditure, has now been released in quarters to ensure timely execution of local government programs. 75.6 billion has been released in Q3 to cater for education capitation requirements for term 1 of school year 018. 364.15 billion was fully released to cater for domestic areas, with priorities given to the private sector, as well as utilities like salaries and pension utilities, salaries and the pension areas. That when you hear somebody now talking that money is delayed like a development expenditure of local government is a liar, or capitation of grant for schools to start.
Okay. Case Mohakanizi, Secretary to the Treasury. Though Uganda is performing at its utmost in regards to the export trade, insistence on value addition is needed to increase foreign exchange from its exports. This has been highlighted by State Minister for Trade and Industries, Goma Gumisiriza, while at the start of the Export Week that opened with a 5-kilometer walk from Lugogo to Centenary Park.
Uganda earns about $3 billion from its exports. Although this figure seems high, it can even be better if value addition, especially on raw materials, is emphasized. And as Uganda continues to hustle for a better balance of trade status, local manufacturers have been advised to ensure value addition to attract better pay from quality products. This issue has been raised by State Minister for Trade and Industries Guma Kizza while opening the 2018 Export Week that started with a 5-kilometer walk.
Let's begin a walk that sends a message to the public that while we are concentrating on buy Uganda, build Uganda, we also need foreign exchange. And the purpose of this is to satisfy the market and also earn dollars.
The minister says Uganda government is setting the right plan for development of the export market through reduction of taxes on raw materials, improving power supply by building Isimba and Karuma dams, as well as aiming at better infrastructure network. But amidst all government efforts, local manufacturers decry key issues that affect the balance sheet.
We have the SQMT Act of 2006, which permits goods which are already certified access to the EAC regional market. So the more they simplify the process of having our products certified, the better for manufacturers to access the regional market.
Uganda mainly exports to Kenya, Sudan, Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the European Union. This year's Export Week, that continues on Wednesday with an exporters conference, will run under the theme, Exporting, Growth Opportunity for Local Industry.
The conference will highlight, as the chairperson has said, and address export development, production challenges, and also the bottlenecks of export services, among others. It is quoted that Barack Obama, in one of his speeches, said, if you are walking down the right path and you are willing to keep walking, eventually you will make a progress.
It's organized by Uganda Export Promotion Board and will climax with a presidential award to excellent exporters. John Burns, Centamo, reporting.
Well, Jordan, before we leave this place, what really stood out for you tonight?
Yeah, having an observation of people starting to get those big academic qualifications, PhDs, masters, at a lower age. Gone are the days when a professor, a PhD holder, had to have gray hair, just as you have seen in the McGill graduation story. Young people are celebrating PhD.
Waiting for your doctorate.
Dr. Michael Jordan Lukomo.
Let's
On the
wrap this up. Thank you for watching News Tonight. Janan Nupori is our sign language interpreter. I'm Rhoda Mgonzi.
Michael Jordan Lukomo.
Good night.
Good night.